Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, welcome to the series of meal planning basics. Do you ever struggle with meal planning? Firstly, it takes too long. Secondly, kids are being picky and they're constantly asking you what's for dinner and you have no clue because every time you do try and cook them dinner, they're like, we don't want to have that again. And then you're like, okay, well, what do you want? When you give suggestions, people are turning up their nose at your food. You just can't win. So this series is designed to help you, whether you're a busy mom or you're somebody who just struggles to plan all your meals because you don't know where to start. This is the series for you. Let's get into tip number one. Firstly, you want to assess your schedule. What have you got going on? If you're somebody who has activities, then you've got barbecues, then you've got a cookout at somebody else's house, then you've got a sleepover. If you've got all of these things, it's likely that you're not going to have as much time as you thought you would to cook your food. So even before you start meal planning, have a look at your family's schedule. Have a look at your whole schedule as a family. And then what you're doing is you're choosing the days or identifying the days that you have more time to cook. If you're doing it like this will help you plan so much more accordingly and make it so much easier. Tip number two is creating a meal calendar. When you're creating a meal calendar, what you're doing is using this calendar to create all your meals for the entire week. Now, you don't have to eat the same thing if that's boring, or if it is easier for you to create the same meals or a variety of 2 different types of meals, 3 different types of meals, whatever you have time for. Tip number 1 and tip number 2 might be it for you. Include things like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. If you're somebody who's like, I couldn't do with something sweet after dinner, I didn't ever die. Tip number 3, make a shopping list. This is the biggest tip that I can give you. We sometimes can go around the grocery store and do the scenic route. You know, if you're going to the beach or you're going to a new town or you're going to a holiday, you're taking in all the surroundings. This is what we can do when we go to Aldi, Target, Walmart. We spend way too much time in there and we're like, I don't got time. We don't have time to do it, but yet we're spending over an hour in the supermarket browsing the aisles quite literally. So instead of that, based on the meals that you did in step 2, create a detailed shopping list. It doesn't have to be everything, but create it detailed enough that it fits in line with your meal calendar. This will help you make it so much easier to make sure that you have all the ingredients that you need for the meals that you're preparing and you've identified that you're going to cook in your meal calendar. Step 4, prep in advance. Set aside some time in the week to prep and gather all of your ingredients. If your dish calls for chopped onion and you haven't got time to chop it on the day, it's going to take too much time. Buy pre-chopped onions or chop the onions or get the kids to do it and help you age appropriate, of course. Or get yourself one of those chopper machines from Amazon. But as long as these tasks are appropriate for your children, they can absolutely get involved when it comes to nutrition. Children are more likely to eat what they have had a hand in making, quite literally and figuratively. Tip number 5 is involving the family. Let them help choose the meals that you're going to have for the week and then also assist. It doesn't only make meal planning fun for them, but it actually teaches them life skills. It can teach them about money, hygiene. It can teach them about nutrition. Some of these things as adults, we didn't even get growing up. I didn't even know how to manage my money. I needed to know how to do algebra and Pythagoras square. What they call the other one? Say one now. Fractions, decimals. I don't use that in everyday life as an adult. Who uses decimals unless you're a mathematician or an accountant? As a project manager and a nutrition coach, I am not using Pythagoras square, and I'm definitely not using any fractions or algebra. It's great that we learn them, but they have to appropriate and teach us for life. How am I going to learn to cook some toast on Pythagoras square? I think I've labelled this point enough. Number 6, stay flexible. Lean in. Because sometimes when it comes to meal planning, we can see Jim Bob over there and Judy Bill over there, and we can see them doing everything that they should do or you should do or we should do. And we kind of get into a habit where if I want to lose weight or if I want to eat more fruits and vegetables, I've got to eat everything green, and that is in the name of healthy eating or weight loss. You don't have to do anything that you don't like, but we do need to be flexible because life be lifing sometimes. And sometimes life can just quickly change and it can throw up a tizzy in your routine, especially if you're a type A type of person like myself. Listen, something that is not in the schedule, sometimes we can be like, whoa, stop. Press, hello, nobody move, nobody's saying anything, nobody's going anywhere until we get this sorted out. Absolutely not. Okay, I used to have a teacher like that. Somebody threw something in the class, that person doesn't just get in trouble, the whole class gets in trouble. And we had to have a detention because nobody's owning up and saying it was me, miss, or it was me, sir. You know what? Well, if I wasn't saved. My point point that I'm trying to make is be flexible with your meal plan. If you're somebody who is on the go throughout the day, or you work from home, or you do whatever, some days you might need hello DoorDash. Let's keep it real, my friends. But if you're somebody who's trying to eat healthy, naturally, your body will want what it gets every single day. So that if it is hello DoorDash for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you're spending a fortune, then your body is primed for that. But if you're starting to put in nutrition above those things, nobody's saying cut it out yesterday. Hello, them things are addictive. Okay. But when life is life, and sometimes it's just so much easier to just get what you know. I haven't got the capacity to try to feed a grown man and I'll be asking him 5 times in the day, what do you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you want for dinner? How is that helping me? It doesn't help. And then it's just adding way more stress than you need, especially when life is life. You know what? You're going to get what I give you to eat, okay? If you don't like, you go to bed hungry, okay? We need to learn what we should take on and what we shouldn't take on. Sometimes we're not equipped, we're not built to take on, and we're not created to take on everybody's stress or everybody's mess. I just can't. I really can't. Okay. And I think I've labeled that point enough. But I'm speaking from experience, when everybody just wants to stress you, no, I've been there. I've been the person who has stress and then it's stressing on everybody else. It causes unnecessary stress for everybody. Why? Ain't nobody got time for it. No. Don't forget about your quick and easy meals. 1-pot meals, quite literally. You got a pot, put the ingredients all in there, chicken, soup, everything. Put it in there, put some bone broth, vegan bone broth, whatever kind of bone broth that you want, some quinoa, some potatoes, whatever you want in there. Make sure it's something that is, edible, of course. And you put it in there, you got yourself a soup, you got yourself a chili. 1-pot meals are incredible. They're amazing. If you're somebody who struggles with time, use the 1-pot, put everything in there. 2 is sheet pan dinners. You can use a sheet pan, a traditional sheet pan, baking sheet or parchment paper on the sheet. You've got your Mediterranean vegetables, your onions, your peppers, and some courgettes or zucchinis. Then you can add some form of protein in there. You can add some beef, you can add chicken, you can add chickpeas. You can add anything that you want. Okay. And then season that up good, some oregano, and also mixed herbs, olive oil. With that food, you want to season it lightly, to be fair. It's the chicken and then the plant protein or protein source that you're getting, you want to season heavily. And then you can just put that in the oven or in the air fryer. If you're somebody who, can you see my air fryer in here? My air fryer is right there. That's a dual air fryer. So one side, do the potatoes, and then the other side, one side you could do the potatoes and the veggies. So you're chopping up the peppers, you're chopping up the onions, and you're putting it on one side. Then the protein is on the other side, seasoned. If you want to marinate that throughout the day and then just put it in the air fryer. Even the children, if they're old enough, can load up the air fryer. And this one will tell you when it's ready to shake. The Ninja one that I had, it was so amazing. But I was going for a color theme here. But you can just put that in the air fryer and it'll take 20 minutes. You can even sometimes not in that size, but the air fryer one, the Ninja one that I had was a dual tray, but it was one tray. So you would just take it out at once. You could do whole chicken in there. If you haven't got an air fryer, girl, you need to get yourself an air fryer. When you don't know how to do something, it is easier to run away than it is to approach it. Not everybody's like that. But for most, if you're somebody who's a type A person and you want everything laid out for you, and you want everything laid out for you on the instructions, you want to know what to eat, when to cook it, you want to know all of that stuff. Do these 5-6 steps first. Then we can get into the big things. So many of us try to run before we can walk and then we get overwhelmed. And it's natural for us to feel overwhelmed. Don't worry if you feel overwhelmed, but meal planning doesn't need to be daunting. Follow these steps as a mum or even somebody who's an individual. You can absolutely streamline your process when it comes to meal planning rather than making it all complicated and you don't end up doing anything. But if you start by adding in these tips that I've shared today and routine weekly meal planning, it will make your habits a whole lot easier over time. One small thing at a time, and then you will see the exponential growth afterwards. That's it, my friends. Happy meal planning. Don't forget to tag me and let me know what you've made. If you're on Instagram, then you can tag me in your stories and show me the recipes that you've made. At Lose Weight with Meal Planning is Instagram. And I can't wait to see you in the next video for this next series.